Welcome back to our mid-episode break, namely 90s Minute. Every week we look back at a culturally relevant show, movie, or piece of pop culture that probably helped stoke the algorithm. This week, in honor of Andor landing on Disney+, we are looking back at Brandon's favorite Star Wars story from the 90s. Yeah, I said what I said. Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. Star Wars Shadows of the Empire is a 1996 multimedia Star Wars project that explored the now Legends timeline between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. The story is told across a novel, junior novel, comic book series, and video game for the Nintendo 64 and PC, with additional media including a soundtrack, trading cards, a role-playing game, toys, and action figures. Yes, those are different. Raise your hand if you had the Outrider ship. Oh, is that my hand raised? The project was designed to reinvigorate interest in the Star Wars franchise ahead of the special edition releases the following year. The overall story revolves around a Han Solo-style rogue and smuggler named Dash Rendar, who pilots a similar Corellian freighter to the Millennium Falcon called the Outrider. The Falcon is a modified YT-1300, and the Outrider is a modified YT-2400. He's hired by Leia, Lando, and Chewie to help them track Boba Fett and get Han back, who was frozen in carbonite at the end of Empire. Dash's story is interwoven with Luke's, as Luke is still hunted by Darth Vader and gets entangled in a power struggle between Vader and Prince Caesar of the Black Sun crime syndicate, who wishes to become the Emperor's new right hand. Luke and Dash end up helping Bothan spies steal the plans for the second Death Star. Many Bothans died. Afterwards, Caesar kidnaps Leia to bait Luke, so Dash and Lando help him rescue her on Coruscant. Caesar tries to escape the rebels who came to save Leia, and Vader shoots down Caesar from his Star Destroyer. Dash and the Outrider are presumably caught in the explosion and appear to die. Finally, the novel finishes with Luke recording his hologram message for Jabba the Hutt we see in the opening scenes of Return of the Jedi. Weirdly, the video game doesn't adapt the novel story one-to-one, starting at the Battle of Hoth with Dash helping Echo Squadron take on the AT-AT walkers during the evacuation. He then chases down bounty hunter droid IG-88 to lead him to Boba Fett. Next, he saves Luke from a swoop bike gang on Tatooine before ending in a similar way to the novel, just without his death. Finally, the comics was a limited series focused on Boba Fett and bounty hunters fighting over Solo's bounty, as well as a spy Vader hires to protect Luke from the criminal syndicates. Either way, all of this isn't canon anymore, and the current run of comics is filling in the gap between Empire and Jedi, sadly in a less Dash Rendar-filled way. And that's Star Wars Shadow of the Empire in a namely 90s minute. More or less. Thanks for watching, and join us again next Tuesday for another Namely 90s Minute. Remember, you can always hear these a day early in full episodes of Namely 90s on all major podcasting platforms, and most of the small ones too. Please subscribe, and do all the other YouTube things, bell ringing, share like a scribes, that sort of stuff, and we'll catch you next time.